Hello, welcome Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today in Unit 9, the household and the family, we are continuing our topic views on the family in India, and our subtopic is process view phases of household development. We have earlier mentioned the continuum between the nuclear and the joint family as one changes into another over time. In this way of studying the family, it is clear that the family is not a static institution. It goes through a developmental cycle. This cycle interrelates the nuclear and the joint families with each other. The structure of a family changes over the time with changes in its size, composition, and the status and roles of its members. Thus, a family is not likely to always remain nuclear, nor does a family always remain joint. Similarly, not all nuclear families are identical, nor are all joint families so. At any given point of time, a nuclear family may have one or more person. When it turns into a joint one, it may have at least two and usually many more members. We have seen Colinda found in the 26 studies she analyzed, the process of the developmental cycle has been improvised by Shah's study of the household and its developmental processes. A household may be experience progression and or regression or both on the basis of birth, adoption, and in and out marriage and death, divorce, and separation of members over a period of time. A household in itself is neither joint nor nuclear, but becomes either of these by virtue of its being under progression and regression in the process of its developmental phases. For example, a married son moving out of his father's house in a patrilineal society makes the son's house a nuclear one, or rather a separate one. This act may or may not simultaneously make his father's household a nuclear one. Thus, at any given time, the family forms in the society are likely to vary from a single member to a large group residing together. Thus, the term household is used for residential grouping and family for the group related through kinship, emotional, ritual, and legal dimensions. Thus, Shah uses the term simple and complex for household rather than joint or nuclear. Each person in the household is involved in a complex pattern of behavior with every other member. Life is a household is marked by proper code of conduct for each member. To analyze a household in its entirety, all the relatives in a household need to be taken into account. The compositional types are not discrete and haphazard, but are interrelated in a developmental process. The pattern of the developmental process in each society is affected by three major factors. The first is demographic factor, which not only include the phenomena of the birth, adulthood, and death, but also the sex and the number of members. While these phenomena are demographic in origin, they are social in operation. The second factor is in the series of explicitly stated norms regarding the residence of various relatives in a household. The third is the pattern of interpersonal relations in a household, largely dependent on the norms or codes of proper conduct attached to the kinship relations in a household. When a simple household becomes a complex one through addition of other family members, by birth or marriage, the process is called fusion. Contrariwise, when members are lost by birth, out marriage or migration, the household is said to undergo fission. The household goes through the process of fusion and fission and accretion and attrition, and in its wake turning itself into simple and complex one. Each attrition may or may not change the household and the family into a nuclear or a joint. The period in the Indian sociology that marked a shift from a book view to the field view coincided with the influence of the ideas of modernization and development. Bombay was assumed as it were to be the pinnacle of the industrialization and modernization, and the teaching community and the leading light. Therefore, the family in Bombay might have been assumed to provide evidence of the influence of modernization and industrialization on the family. As will be evident from the essay in Patel, the Indian family received maximum attention in Maharashtra and Gujarat and much less in other parts of the India, especially South India, by sociologists in India. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.